All right. Hello, hello. All right. Hello, hello. Um, don't know that anybody is gonna show up for this one. Uh, I'm gonna wait for at least one person to show up, I guess, but like, or will I? Will I wait for one person to show up? I don't know. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll just get started. Hold on, actually. Hello, Gryra? Interesting that you got this notification. Um, Hello. Anyway, um, yeah. I guess I'm gonna restart this video because I'm 20 seconds in, but um, just for whoever's currently here, I don't know. Do I know? Almost 666. Like I almost have 666 subs. I'm gonna be real. I don't actually know how many subscribers I have. I long stopped paying attention. But anyway, so what this is gonna be is I'm just gonna be looking at a video that the developer of Fallacy Quiz made on their own game, which is a reaction to Northern Lion uh doing the Fallacy Quiz. Um, I was going to play the game myself. Um, but I didn't want to spend the money for it. like simply put, like it's a $15 game. And personally, that just doesn't seem worth it to me. Like $15 seems like an exorbitant amount um for this type of game. So I'm just not going to spend that money, and instead I'm going to be looking at this video to just to see if I can get a sense of, what's going on with the content. And I do promise there is a higher purpose for this. Um,
Recently, Northern Lion. Oh,
argument. It's not a fallacy. It works, man. It's valid. You're
okay, so I guess for context, Fallacy Quiz. Um, Right. So basically fallacy quizzes, it's literally just a quiz where you look at an argument and you pick whether it's valid or not. And that's literally the whole quiz. I think there's also a mode where you can identify a specific fallacy, like it gives you multiple choice. Actually, I don't think I know for a fact that there is that mode. Um Whatever the case may be. Um yeah, that's the point. And I have a thing. I have a thing with logical fallacies. I think that they are a bad way of teaching logic. So I'm going to look at this video because I want to see like what do the developers, or what does the developer of this game actually think is like the use in fallacies and this kind of stuff. Um, It includes informal fallacies too. I mean, well, here's the thing: is this like, yes, it includes informal fallacies, and not only does it include informal fallacies, it like, in my opinion, just makes up a bunch that just aren't real. Like, not in the sense that they're not fallacious, but that they're not fallacies that more than a few people have ever talked about. Um, and you'll see that because I've watched like a minute of this video, but I wanted to get on stream to talk about it because I was a little frustrated, But we'll see, we'll see.
argument can be so good that even if it is completely based on logical fallacies, you're still right, in my opinion.
what? So,
By the way, that's most arguments you make are based on logical fallacies. And that's the thing I want to take. I want people to take away from the stream more than anything, which is that basically all arguments you could ever make in your life, well, not all, but the arguments that you make in your normal life are almost always fallacious from some perspective. And so it's kind of useless in a lot of cases to call out a fallacy. But we'll see how that works.
At the end of last year, I launched my first indie game on Steam called Fallacy Quiz. And
So how's the
recently,
audio
Northern
balance?
Lion, a
How's
big streamer
my
and YouTuber,
my
actually made
my
a
volume
video
compared
playing
to
the
the video?
game. It was a bit out of nowhere because I did not contact him or anything. I want to react to this to maybe give some insights. Yeah, let's get into it.
There's no reason that the music in Fallacy Quiz has to go this hard. Just listen to this.
So this one is unsolvable, I'm pretty sure. Like, I don't think that you can
Okay,
get...
so that's how it starts. I'm really glad
guess
people like
here.
the music in Fallacy Quiz. My friend made it, and recently they actually released the soundtrack
Kind of low in
on
comparison.
YouTube.
Anyway, we're
Interesting.
playing Fallacy Quiz. What's Fallacy Quiz?
Let's turn down
I think
the
it's
video
like
then.
a kind of a trivia game that
testing?
teaches you logical fallacies. I thought it was like a smart idea for me to play this because I get accused of using fallacies from time to time just because I'm so good at winning arguments. I said that like I use straw men from time to time, but it's not a fallacy, it's a rhetorical technique. And people were like, I don't know if you could just say that. Well, let's learn something. Each game for 3 rounds of 5 questions, you have to identify whether or not the presented statement is fallacious. Okay, we'll start on easy mode because it's all I can do. Ready? I'm ready. If we let them build this skate park, our neighborhood will change. Let's lay down the pros and cons and decide if we should be opposed to it or not. That's valid, man. You're valid for that, for sure.
Okay.
Extremely valid statement.
Okay, so... So already this is, like, really strange. Because this isn't really, like, an argument. This is... Hello, Estelle. Okay, so this one, okay, I guess it doesn't contain a logical fallacy in it. So sure, it's well, no, because how this doesn't make any sense. This isn't an argument. Like it's not a valuable as valid or fallacious. It's just, am I an egg fan? Oh, a Northern Lion fan. Occasionally. I'm not like an avid watcher or anything, but I do enjoy some Northern Lion content here and there. Okay, so I'm gonna, by the way, I'm gonna do this for like basically every question. So if we let them build the skate park, our neighborhood will change. Okay, so that's premise 1. Let's lay down the pros and cons to decide if we should be opposed to that project or not. How would you even formalize this? Like this is not a valid... It's not even an argument, really. So I don't know how to evaluate it as valid or not. If we were going to formalize it, it would literally be... it would be invalid, though, if we formalized it. Because it would be... if P, then Q, basically. If we let them build the skate park, then our neighborhood will change. And then the next sentence is just a completely different non sequitur sentence. Like you there's nothing you can infer here. Oh, I know that the Minesweeper screen is kind of blocking the video. That's that's kind of the that's the charm of it, you know. All right, let's see if I can make it smaller. I can try to make it a little smaller. Oh shit! I just realized it's getting cut off at the bottom. There we go. Yeah, there we go. Maybe it doesn't need to be an argument. I mean, maybe it's not. I don't know. But then why are we talking about fallacies here? Like, how do I play it vertical? What? How? That's a thing I can do? Oh, do you mean Minesweeper? I don't know that I have the option on this website. This is like bare bones Minesweeper, so I don't know that I actually have the option to play it vertical. I could try to rotate the thing. It's not a custom game. It's literally minesweeperonline.com. So it's bare bones in the sense that it's like it doesn't have it doesn't it has forced guesses. Yeah, I mean it's it's just this statement just confuses me. The prompt just confuses me. There's nothing valid or invalid about it.
That's valid, man. You're valid for that for sure.
Okay.
Extremely valid statement. Nothing wrong with that.
Good start. It's a good start.
Whether I'm good looking or not, it's not impossible for me to find a partner. That's valid, man. It's not impossible. There's lots of busted people out.
What? Whether I'm good looking or not, it's impossible. It's not impossible for me to find a partner. I I mean, there's nothing like logically incoherent about it, sure. Okay. Oh, I see. Okay, so sure. Fine, whatever. I still don't really feel like this is an argument, but I guess it is an argument, but I'm trying to figure out how you would formalize this. Like, oh, it's like A or not A, not. Yeah, okay. That's fair. Though this is like a modal argument. So maybe, I don't know. This is well, logical fallacies only make sense with respect to formal arguments. There are no like I don't really believe like there are very few um informal like fallacies. Like what is the point of calling something a fallacy if it just does it just count against the argument? I don't know.
Partner,
Whatever.
that's valid, man. It's not impossible. There's lots of busted people out there. There's someone for everybody. You may think climate change is a real problem for humankind, but I'm not sure that's important. That's okay. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so you may think climate change is a real problem for humankind, but I'm not sure it's that important. That's okay. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion.
That's valid, but I disagree with you. Never mind.
He thought it was valid at first.
I thought that, how is it, whoa. How is it invalid for them to say they don't care about climate change? I'm not saying it's like a good opinion. It passed the Greek rhetoric check in my head.
I mean, he's kind of right though. It's kind of right. Like there's nothing invalid about there's nothing invalid about saying you don't care about climate change. Like it's a perfectly fine thing to say.
The thing is, it's more subtle than that in the question. You may think climate change is a real problem for humankind, but I'm not sure it's that important. So one's opinion is it's a real problem for humankind. The other's opinion is it's not that important. The thing is, it's technically a real problem for humankind. You cannot really say.
Okay, but sure, like empirically, it's a real problem for humankind, but like, there's nothing like logically wrong in the sentence. Well, I know it's the everyone is entitled to their own opinion part, but that isn't true. That's like that's not even truth evaluable. Okay, it is truth evaluable, I guess, in the sense that you have a theory of entitlements, but it's like it's not saying the second part is not saying your statement is wrong because everyone is entitled to their own opinion. It's just saying everyone is entitled to their own opinion. Like, this is not like I'm struggling to even understand like what the like if this is an argument or not. Like, it seems like the kind of thing you would just say as a statement. Like you know, I don't agree with you, but everyone is entitled to their own opinion. That's not saying they're wrong. That's just that's like avoiding conflict. I don't know. Whatever.
It's not. So by using the phrase everyone is entitled to their own opinion, they're saying we don't have to take side, you know? The thing is, if you say that like climate change is not a problem for humankind, it's not on the same ground as if you're saying it's a problem for humankind.
Well, okay, but logically it is. Like, logically it's on the same ground. Like, empirically it's not, but in terms of like just logic, it's fine.
So you cannot really use that relativism here.
It said why on the
Also, that's the other thing. I've never heard of the relativism fallacy. Never in my life have I ever heard somebody use that term.
screen. I wasn't reading all that. People who think we should
You can technically click on see the definition of the fallacy to know more.
arguments on the subject. I can give you some if you want.
What? What? This isn't an argument. What?
Okay, valid.
Okay.
That's called the appeal to please don't ask me to elaborate because then I've got to go get some sources.
God damn it. Northern Lion is
Ordered twice, and
fucking
twice
funny.
I've received a damaged package. I'm never ordering anything again. So this is pissing me off. They gave me an achievement for being a cheater because I paused the countdown while the game was running. This
I love this. When you pause the game for the first time during a countdown, I say you're a cheater using the achievement system from Steam.
Okay.
seems valid to me. This is valid, man. They're not saying every package I order is going to be damaged. They're just saying, fool me once, fucking shame on you. Fool me twice, won't get fooled again. This is valid. Fuck you.
That's interesting because yeah, the phrase is not I received a damaged package twice, so all packages will be damaged. The phrase is I received a damaged package twice, so I'm not going to order online anymore. I think this sentence could be improved by explicitly telling.
Oh, okay. So he is capable of self-reflection. That's good. That's good. Because he's absolutely correct. Like what Northern Lion said. It's I'm never ordering anything online again is not an argument about will future online packages be damaged or not. It's a statement about like what I'm going to do going forward. Like, maybe I'm just extremely risk averse. There's nothing fallacious about being risk averse. But I do want to hear him correct it real quick. So
From Steam or cheater using the
You fool.
interesting because so all packages will be damaged. The phrase is I received a damaged package twice, so I'm not going to order online anymore. I think this sentence could be improved by explicitly telling the opinion that they think all packages will be damaged, and that's why they choose to not order anymore.
What do you mean, hey?
So I agree with that. But here's the thing, is that even if you corrected it to that, how would you if we're conceding that that's an invalid inference, then are we not conceding that like all scientific reasoning is invalid inference as well? Because like the form of that is all observed x's have been y, therefore the next observed x will also be y. Like that's literally just philosophical induction, you know? There's nothing, and I like in terms of deduction, obviously that's fallacious, but at what point would it not be a hasty generalization? Like, you know, is it 3 if I observe 3 packages that are all damaged? Or how about 4? Or how about 5? Like, at what point do I just say, you know, I'm justified in saying that the next one will be damaged as well? I don't think there's a solid answer to that.
Hasty generalization. Consume. Even though we sent you a damaged box 2 times in a row, keep buying that shit. What are you talking about, man?
The Chad Northern Lion. Honestly, the Chad Northern
Hasty
Lion.
generalization. You can use a mechanical pencil, but they're distinct tools. This is like a who asked, but it's valid.
Yeah, it's who asked, because
This is like
Hold
a who asked.
Sometimes a pencil lead may snap. In that case, you just have to sharpen it. However, if you'd rather not deal with sharpening pencils, you can use a mechanical pencil, but they are distinct tools. Okay, also the question is pissing, not the question, but the graphic is pissing me off, because this is talking about pencils versus mechanical pencils, but this is a pencil and this is a fountain pen. Like these are like what is this picture matched with this question? Why are these matched together? It's just wrong. What? Anyway, sure. Um, sure, whatever.
Asked, but it's valid.
Yeah, it's who asked, because this sentence is included in the game to mislead you, because there's a really similar sentence that is not valid.
Oh my god. Seriously? So it's included just to be able to catch you out? That's fucking bullshit, man.
So I do that often in the game to try to make it a bit more tricky. So there's a sentence that is really similar, but that is fallacious. The thing is, it makes sense for the fallacious statement to be that complicated, but when you make a valid statement out of it, it's like, why are you telling me all of this?
Well, maybe you shouldn't have done it like that. What?
True, Kant did say that. The question is whether it's still valid today. That's begging the question. But it had question in the sentence.
Well, here's a question, I guess. It's not begging the question, but so it's true, Kant did say that. The question is whether it is still valid today. It depends on what you mean by valid, because presumably a valid statement, like a valid argument from Kant's time, would still be a valid argument today if you're using the same rules of logical inference, right? It doesn't mean it's still true, but it could still be a valid argument. Like you know, Kant says all men are mortal, Socrates is a man, therefore Socrates is mortal. I mean, yeah, I understand what it's driving at, but my problem is that it's using the word valid, because valid, it could be like, without knowing what the previous thing is, it could be, well, I guess you could say it's like the question is whether it's still valid today. Rhetorically though, it seems like you're invalidating it, right?
Question. Question.
It's funny because there are a lot of common used fallacies, begging the question and ad hominem, and I did not use those phrasing. Begging the question in the game is called circular reasoning, and I did not put ad hominem in.
Wait, hold on. But that's not the. I mean, I guess you could say that begging the question is a kind of circular reasoning. Sure. Yeah.
In the game, I split it into different category of personal attacks. I did this
Why?
because I think they are a bit misused generally. Here,
Okay, that's true. That's true, but also like bold statement from you, man.
for instance, there was question in the sentence and they jumped to begging the question when begging the question is not that at all. Go back.
That's denying the antecedent, bro. I'm gonna be insufferable after.
They jumped to begging the question when begging the question is not
Did we
that
miss
at
a
all.
question?
Go back.
Okay,
That's denying the
we
antecedent,
just
bro.
didn't see it. Sure.
I'm gonna be insufferable after I platinum this game.
I love how when he sees the answer, he just repeats it as if he knew exactly.
But your note work is in terrible condition. I won't waste my time looking at each page. You'll get a bad grade. Fallacy.
So you handed in your homework, but your notebook is in terrible condition. I won't waste my time looking at each page. You'll get back. This isn't. This isn't an argument. It's not an argument. Like, what if the class? What if the class has a rule that your notebook has to be in good condition? It would be a dumb rule, but there's nothing like. There's nothing fallacious about that. Obviously, though, it's meant to be fallacious.
Appeal to the fallacy of division. teach. That's the fallacy of division.
Okay, okay. In the game, you have some tips to deal with people using the fallacies, and only 2 times I give the advice to actually say the name of the fallacy. Most of the time, I don't think you should say the name of the fallacy like that.
Oh, I mean that's true. I agree with that. You should almost never invoke a fallacy in real arguments. You will not get anywhere. Also, I've just been staring at this Minesweeper game for a bunch of time. I think it's unsolvable. But
Okay,
I'll take
how
the
do we
1
do
and
for a
3.
baseline? I thought it was pretty good. Best score, new best.
The game really favors having a combo. So if you have one wrong answer in the middle of the game, you will have a really, really bad score compared to not having a wrong answer or having a wrong answer at the beginning or at the end of the game.
Why would you design a quiz like that?
Makes no sense, but I keep that from Link's crossbow training. I don't know if you ever played that game. In the game Link's crossbow training, you have to
I don't care.
make a really. Okay, next try.
They won't let me do expert mode until I perfect easy, man.
I think I'm going to change that for the next update for the multiplayer mode. Some people reached to me about that and said we wanted to just have a multiplayer game and we cannot have a custom game by default in the game. You have to complete 5,000 points in easy mode in single player. That's bad, I think, and I'm going to change that for the next update because that means that if you buy the game for the multiplayer mode and then you just start the game, you cannot unlock anything by playing multiplayer, and that's pretty bad.
I've never used the sentence tomatoes and guacamole before, but we can try. That's not even an argument. That's literally just a sentence.
Exactly, Northern Lion. Exactly. It's not even an argument.
I don't understand how that could possibly be
It's not even an argument.
That's just a nothing burger.
Okay, so my friend, we have an argument about guacamole. They think you shouldn't have anything else than avocado and stuff like that. And my point is...
Oh my god. Are you... Okay, hold on. Maybe I'm misunderstanding.
If you want to put some diced tomatoes, it's not a big deal. It's fine. It's still guacamole. They think it's like a really bad thing and it shouldn't be.
Why are you why are you using this? Why are you using this game to shadowbox with your friend? Why? 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 What the fuck? This guy made a fucking video, a whole ass video game because he had an argument with his friend about guacamole. Oh my god. Lord Canty, shadow boxing is when it's boxing with the shadow. So it's like you're fighting something that doesn't exist. Jesus Christ.
Be called guacamole. So I decided to add this statement in my game, and they ate me for that.
Working out with only your body weight is better than working out with machines or accessories because it's less artificial. Things people actually believe, but this is an appeal to nature. Oh,
Good.
I'm learning too much already.
Good.
I mean, sure, it's an invalid argument. Sure.
The question is not, is it true or not? Because maybe it's better, and that's why machines. The thing is, the argument true or not? Because maybe it's better than using machines. The thing is, the argument was because it's less artificial, and that's why there's a fallacy, because they are using an appeal to nature.
Well, hold on, just a second. Well, it depends on what we mean by better, right? Like, what if better is defined in terms of it's more natural? Or how about what if better is requires less electricity?
Nature
The machine there's
is equivalent.
because they are using an appeal to nature.
Me not voting in this election is equivalent to letting all others decide in my place. That's valid.
No. It's all other voters. Whatever. I'm not gonna.
The perfect score is incoming.
What?
I'm so ready for Mario Party later after this. You're selling this for $10, but I wasn't willing to buy it at all. Let's split the difference. How about $5? That just doesn't make sense to me.
Wait, this is what? You're selling this, but I wasn't willing to buy it at all. Let's split the difference. How about $5? Is it literally just the I wasn't willing to buy it at all part that makes this invalid?
About $5? That just
some feedback I got during the beta stage of the game. This sentence was, "You're selling this for $10. I want to buy it for $6. Let's do $8." You know, that was the sentence. And people said, "Wait, it's just negotiation. It's not really a fallacy." Yeah, so it was a bit confusing. Here, I made it really clear that it was a fallacy because they say that they are not willing to buy it at all. So then why are you negotiating if you don't want to buy it?
But that makes it not make any sense. That makes the sentence not make any sense. Like, also, nice triple L there, but it doesn't make any sense if you say I'm not willing to buy it. I wasn't willing to buy it at all. Because now it makes it like I agree, like why are you negotiating? But then I would just say, oh, that's part of the negotiation. Like this is the issue here is that not like I understand what it's trying to gesture at, but this is not a good way of teaching fallacies.
difference.
That one was really a fallacy. That it was. So then why are they are just trying to bullshit the seller?
Yeah, they are, because that's what negotiation is.
Whoa, you've just unlocked expert mode. You'll be asked to choose the name of the rhetorical fallacy from 4 options. Okay, expert mode. Our burgers are higher in calories, but the vegetable portion is much larger. That's a red.
What? It's... But without context, this doesn't even... Without context, this doesn't make any sense. Like, what is the question? What is the question? What is it responding to? Like, it's definitely, like, I imagine it's supposed to be a red herring because it's like, oh, well, the vegetable portion, is much larger. It's irrelevant to the calorie count. But what do we? But how do we know that the calorie count is what was asked about? Like, so, like, what if the question was, something like, our burgers, so the customer comes in and says, you say your burgers are healthier, yet your burger is higher in calories. So how do you explain that? And they would say, yes, our burgers are indeed high in calories, but the vegetable portion is much larger in our new recipe. Like, why would that be an invalid statement?
Red herring.
Yes. Nice.
For some reason. I don't really know why, but that's a red herring.
He keeps saying, I don't know why, I don't know what it means. He never clicked on see the definition. There's a big button you can click to see the definition if you don't understand.
We've been doing it this way for 2 generations. Perhaps it's time to mix things up. That's affirming the consequent. No, that's valid? What?
It's not... okay. It's not an argument.
What the hell? I can't check the definition on validity? The stop sign has been there since the road. Okay.
Okay, now he wanted to check the definition, but it's just valid. Why would you want to check the definition? Oh, maybe... Oh, that's a good idea now that I think about it. Maybe you want to check the definition for your wrong answer to know why this wrong answer is not correct. Okay, that might be good.
I was writing down a crucial piece of information when I heard a noise.
Hold on. I was writing down a crucial piece of information when I heard a noise. My pencil lead had completely broken off. I looked at the tip, and there wasn't any usable graphite left. I rubbed it against the paper, but that only made things worse. The wood from the pencil began to fray and tear my notes apart. If you don't want to suffer the same fate, I recommend using our mechanical pencil. Is this meant to be misleading vividness? But okay, I imagine this is meant to be misleading vividness just because of, like, all of the description. But it's not an invalid argument. I mean, I guess it's an invalid argument, but it's not like a bad argument.
Misleading vividness, man.
Okay, that's funny because misleading vividness, you need to have a long story. They don't know how to react to having a wall of text like that. But in the calculation of the time you have to answer, I take into account the reading speed and the length of the question. So in theory, it shouldn't be that bad for you to have to read that wall of text.
Because it was so wordly.
It was so
that it was trying to mislead me. For 3 days. So we should prepare a picnic for tomorrow. That's the hot hand fallacy. Hey, it's crazy. No wonder gambling addiction is such a scourge, man. Hand fallacy. Mislead me. For 3 days.
Trust me, it hasn't rained for 3 days, so we should prepare a picnic for tomorrow. Sure, it's
so we should prepare a
argument,
picnic for
like,
tomorrow. That's the hot hand fallacy. Hey, it's crazy. No wonder gambling addiction is such a scourge, man. So there's hot hand fallacy. I've been winning so much. I'm definitely...
Okay, but no, no. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Because these aren't independent events. like the hot hand fallacy is a fallacy because in gambling it's independent. Like all of the events are independent, but like the proximity of rain is not an independent event like, or the likelihood of raining on any given day is not an independent event from the from the rain or not rain that happened on previous days. So it's just like I hate this. I hate this
Definitely
so
gonna
much.
win next time. But then there's
Yeah.
also gambler's fallacy. It's been so long since I've won that I'm due. That's
Yeah, yeah.
crazy.
Our brain is
Hold
really
on. I need to focus on this real quick. So there's 4 here. So that's 4, 5, 6, and then 7, 8. So these two have to be safe, right? And then that should be that's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 1. Shit. Oh no, we're good. Ooh, a 7. That's not something you see every game. Hey, there we go.
bad about this.
Person never worked with their hands in their life, so I'm not sure why we should listen to them about how we could improve our working conditions. That's a biased generalization. That's a genetic fallacy, to be honest with you. Let's see, this one's a genetic fallacy. I gotta go to my desk real quick. I gotta load up the style guide. Genetic fallacy. In the face of theories, arguments, or facts, this one is about criticizing the origins or intentions of their sources rather than their substance.
Wait. Okay, yeah. So this is the problem is that this is like a totally reasonable thing to say. It's like a totally reasonable argument. Like in the absence of information, like maybe you're not in a so imagine somebody comes in. Okay, so let's look at this, right?
That's
So
improved.
this person has never worked with their hands in their life, so I'm unsure why we should listen to them about how we could improve our working conditions, right? So obviously, it's not like an amazing argument, but I can easily see a situation where this would like make sense as a thing to say, right? So for example, imagine they come in and they make some kind of suggestion about that you're not in that you're not in a in a hold on, that you don't have the ability to evaluate because you're not like an expert, or like maybe it's like they say we should change this specific part of the regulatory code. You might then say, uh if you know that this person has never actually worked in a factory, you might say, well, I don't know that we should listen to you because you've never worked in a factory, so like how would you even know? Like I'm not saying it's an amazing argument, but it is totally like reasonable as an argument. It's not a valid argument, to be clear, because again, it's not a valid argument. None of these are like valid arguments, but it is like a totally reasonable statement to make if you're not in a if you're not in if you're not qualified to evaluate the statement otherwise.
Our fallacy. I go to my desk of theories, arguments rather than their substance.
Yeah. So just in general, like it's totally fine to criticize a source instead of addressing the actual argument. So like for example, here's a good example, right? If your friend Dave keeps like is like consistently unreliable and like consistently says things that are wrong, or is not is it's like maybe they're only like 50-50 correct in general, it would be totally reasonable to say, well, you know, it's Dave is the one who said this, so why should we trust it, right? Like that's a totally reasonable argument just in a normal everyday context. Like it's just saying that you don't think that it's just a it's a it's just a normal argument. It's not valid, but it's also fine as an argument to make.
Your interlocutor will, for example, reject the study because it comes from a particular institute without demonstrating in any way that the study itself is invalid. Yeah, but what if the institute has a history of being stupid or presenting conclusions that disagree with my worldview?
Thank you. Wait. I like how Northern Lion is like consistently smarter than this quiz is. Because like he's right. Like what if the institute like consistently and and constantly outputs junk science? You know? Like why wouldn't you take that as a reason to doubt the claims that they make?
Then you're making a genetic fallacy.
Yeah, it's a genetic fallacy, but it's not wrong now, is it? It's a good argument still. If I can demonstrate if I demonstrate that somebody is consistently lying or consistently screwing things up or consistently like putting out bad research, then I think it's a pretty fine inference to say that their next piece of research will also be bad. Like this is the problem, is that this is like technically fallacious. Like it's deductively fallacious, but it's not a bad argument. It's a fine argument. Like sometimes the genetic fallacy is a fine argument because sometimes it really is the case that you shouldn't trust what a source says and that you shouldn't like give them the time of day and try to evaluate their claims because like why? Like I only have like so much time on this earth. I don't need to spend it, you know, debunking every asinine thing that a consistent liar says, you know?
That doesn't make any sense to me. In this case, ask them to ignore the source and comment on the substance. If they do not want to accuse them...
I mean, yeah, it's basically just it's actually more like, yeah, it's like an inductive argument. Exactly. It's an inductive argument.
This shit is the playbook, man. Holy cow. Ask them to ignore the source and comment on the substance. If they do not want to, accuse them of finding excuses and running from debate. Holy cow.
But like what if you're not in a position to evaluate the source? Like what if you're like two lay people and you're arguing about something scientific, right? Like it might literally be that the most important thing to do is to or the best thing that you can do is point to the source. Like this happens in like climate science debates, for example, right? Like true burrito, true. But like so for example, if somebody is like so I'm imagining a scenario, right? So person A believes in climate change and person B doesn't. So person B presents a study that supposedly disproves climate change. But person A knows the institute that made that study and they say, "Hey, this institute is funded by the oil lobby." And you like and then they say, "Oh, well, you know, you're not evaluating the source on its merits." It's like, why should I evaluate the source on its merits? Like I'm not person A might not be a scientist and person B is also probably not a scientist. And so you might actually be in a worse off position if you try to evaluate it yourselves because you might just not have the expertise to do so. You might like very easily get something wrong. Like I would advise people against trying to interpret like scientific research on their own. Like that's the whole problem. Like that's often what happens, by the way, is that people misread studies. It's not always a problem of them not having studies, it's them not understanding what the studies actually say. Whatever.
Oh, man. That's the genetic fallacy. That's a powerful one, man.
In the case of Northern Lion, I'm not sure that he's learning how to spot fallacy. I think he's actually learning how to use new fallacies.
Americans agree with the conclusions of our documentary. I mean, that's
This is just a statement. It doesn't say it would be invalid if it said therefore our documentary is correct, or our conclusions are correct. But this is not like this is just a statement.
seems like.
I got feedback from this sentence, and I added bold text to our viewers and bold text to Americans to really show where the fallacy is. And even with that, there are some
Because it's not a fallacy. It's just a statement. It doesn't say, therefore, the conclusion of the documentary is correct. It just says, this shows that our viewers, it shows that, this survey, conducted around... Oh, okay, hold on. Oh, wait, alright. Hold on. I think I understand. I see now. It's because it's the bias generalization. Okay, now I understand. All right, fair enough. I was too quick to jump on that one. Yes.
That seems
feedback from to our viewers.
Yes, that's
and
correct.
even
That's
with
correct.
that, there are some people who have issues with it.
as a generalization. They said according to our survey, man. Their viewers, maybe everybody's watching that shit. Maybe it's like the White Lotus season 3. I don't know.
If all Americans are viewers of the channel, he's right.
You're saying
Damn. Okay, I guess it's not invalid then.
we shouldn't have fun at all. Valid. It's too late.
What do you mean it's too late to turn the music up? Basically, you're saying we shouldn't have fun at all. I guess... What?
That's a straw man. They never said that. I'm an expert at those. At a party, most
It's not... Okay, sure.
people get less sleep than what's recommended. You could stay a bit longer with us tonight.
What? Most people get less sleep than what's recommended. You could stay a bit longer with us tonight. What? What is the context of this?
That's an appeal to common practice, bro.
Good.
Because they said most people.
I think the sentence was a bit strange. The
don't
wording is a bit strange. No one will ever say that. Most people get less sleep than what's recommended. You could stay a bit longer with us tonight. No one's going to say that to you. So I think we could change.
Yeah, I don't understand it either.
Hey, going to sleep already? You know that most people don't sleep that much.
It says at a
Just stay
party.
with us.
But like, what? Who said?
midnight or
Who would
something.
say this at a party? Isn't the point? I don't understand.
You know?
What the fuck? Okay, whatever.
That will be way more normal.
He broke my pen. It would only be fair to break his. That's two
I mean, that's just an opinion.
wrongs make a right, but it is also valid.
What?
Some fallacious statements can also be valid.
What?
True.
Okay, they try again.
True, Northern Lion.
What was the score? Okay, they
Anyway, I'm going to try
pretty
again.
bad score for the expert mode.
You say that protesters shouldn't damage schools. That's real cool for all the other buildings. Thanks.
What? You say that protesters shouldn't damage schools. That's real cool for all the other buildings. Thanks. Okay.
um, I think it must be middle ground. That's a great comment, though. That's so like 20s, man, maybe like 2019.
I don't
Twitter.
understand that
Oh.
one, but sure.
I think they just like fallacious statement like.
Oh man, that is great, man. You're so pretty. I'm sure you'll help me carry this thing. That's the appeal to flattery, but that works. That would work.
It's
on me.
not a fallacy. Like, this is what I mean. Is like, what do you? These are not fallacies. These are just fucking. These are just things. These are just like statements. It's not fallacious. It has nothing to. This has nothing to do. This has nothing. It's not even an argument. It's like you're.
100%. That's a false equivalency.
What? That's false equivalency.
That's a false
What was that?
equivalency.
Nope, it was destroying.
What?
These are not like.
equivalency.
To be clear, these are not.
You're equating pain and gain.
These are not real fallacies, by the way.
I could.
DS018, we're looking at this fallacy quiz because it's like really bad. Like, the statements are so ambiguous. And the fallacies are just made up. Like, these are not real fallacies.
Draw the algebraic expression for it. You cross out the nose on the opposite sides of the.
No, it's not a false equivalency. They're not saying pain is like gain because in the two word there's AIN.
This one consists of taking a general rule or statistic and applying it systematically. You will often hear people say everyone instead of most people. Within an argument, this can lead to major errors. Providing counterexamples and exceptions will help you question this hasty generalization.
If it's a hasty generalization, then just call it a hasty generalization.
Okay, so I should have been like, actually, there's situations where people have.
Yeah, see, Gryra, I don't know what your name is, but Gryra, I agree. And to me, what it needs to have is it needs to be like a natural deduction laid out, and you need to identify if the argument is valid or not. And it's like it's in like a first order logic notation. So you it's like basically just based on the symbols and nothing else.
Have gained without pain.
Yeah.
Like gaining weight on vacation. While turning down the. You're saying people can be smart without having gone to school? So basically you're saying that people will always succeed even without ever going to school? That's a straw man argument.
Yeah. Okay,
And
cool.
you sound annoying as fuck, just
This
to be
is straw
honest
man.
with you.
Fair.
This NGO does really useful work for society. Their director must be a good person.
I mean, yeah, I guess that's invalid, but oh, for sure it's smaller
That's
I mean, really, if you think about it, isn't Minesweeper basically that game? You know, like, Minesweeper is just logic, you know?
fallacy of division, because
Nice.
the fucking whole isn't the sum of its parts or whatever.
Yeah.
This consists in claiming that a part of something possesses a property just because the whole thing does. For example, this metal airplane flies, so metal can fly. But metal can fly. You just have to mold it into the shape of an airplane. Am I stupid or too smart for this game? I can't figure it
He's too smart for this game.
out. Metal can fly.
He's right. Metal can fly.
You just turn it into an airplane.
Why is he, like, holding his face? He's right. Northern Lion is correct.
I mean, metal can fly like it's a property. Maybe I should change this to say metal cannot inherently fly. So now we are adding a new
What does inherently mean?
word that people will not understand. This metal airplane flies, so metal can inherently fly.
No, what you have to do is, here's what you say. This airplane can fly. Therefore, if I cut off the wing will be able to fly on its own. That's what you do.
We'll see. Maybe I'll add that.
They cannot just assert it. destroying the exception by saying that all metal can't fly, man.
So
So
true.
what about airplanes? You're running from debate.
Okay, they got me here.
Look, they have a full building with a lobby and a receptionist like a big successful company. They must be a serious business. The business is a fallacy of division because the business is not necessarily, it doesn't maintain the same. Fuck you, bitch.
This is again, this is literally, obviously appearances can be deceiving, but surely like presentation means something, you know? Like, are you going to go into like the restaurant with dirty floors or the restaurant with clean floors?
Fuck you.
You know what Northern Lion is? Northern Lion is Fat Tony from Taleb, like Nassim Nicholas Taleb's thought experiments.
9 p.m. It's time to go to bed. Why? Well, because 9 p.m. is bedtime. That's circular reasoning.
Yeah,
That's a given.
cool.
Okay, now a lot of people are saying that's my parents, that's my parents. I'm here to tell you the one thing that you think, because I went through this twice. Once when I had a kid and once when I started teaching kids in South Korea. You start with high-minded, noble ideals where you're like, my parents would sometimes say, because I said so, when they wanted me to do something, and it would really piss me off. So what I'm going to do instead is just calmly and logically explain to any children in my life the incentives for doing the behavior that I want them to do. And I'm going to use rhetoric to get us both on the same page. And then they'll agree with me. And my case will be so convincing that they'll just naturally want to do what I'm telling them to do in the first place. It's...
Yes. I'm a bit scared of the next sentence.
Simply does not work like that, and you're stupid if you think it does. I use because I said so all the time. Because if you don't, you just get mired in this like debate that just goes around and around and around. You start by explaining.
What I hear is that Northern Lion cannot win a debate with a child. That's what I'm hearing.
Okay, that's pretty base. That's pretty
right
base.
now.
Okay, also, let me... So I think this one is unwinnable, right? Or it's I have to make a guess. Because, yeah, because at least one has to be here, and then two has to be here. Yeah, so it's 1, 1, 1, 1. So I guess I'll do here, because this is a 1 in 3 instead of 50/50s. Here, sure. That's 1... Hold on, 1, 2, 3. Oh, fuck. And now it's just a bunch of 50/50s. Lovely. Sure, there. Lovely. I had no right to win that one. That was literally luck. Yeah.
It's bedtime. Why? Because this is the night we always go to bed. Okay, that's circular reasoning. Okay, because you need to go to sleep now so that you can wake up in the morning. That's destroying the exception. There's times where I haven't gotten a whole lot of sleep and I've woken up and still felt great. Well, because I said so. Because I never played this game before. I had these arguments, you know. So sometimes you just gotta be like, no, we're doing this. We're going to bed. I was munching on some roasted salted almonds. Then I popped one into my mouth that had this weird, horrible, bitter taste that made me want to spit it out. It was gross. That's why almonds are the worst nuts. That's valid. That's valid, man. That's a true statement. I mean, I shouldn't say it's a true statement because I like almonds. But if someone was like, I might literally say in response to that message, that's valid. That's valid. It's a generalization. No, it's not. They implied that because every once in a while you get a bad almond, almonds are the worst nuts to eat. I think that's valid.
He's right, by the way. Northern Lion is just 100% correct here.
Making a point, you could say that almonds are bad because once in a while you have a bad one. So I might rephrase that a bit.
Sure, the next almond could be the best almond they've ever had, but if there was like a 10% chance of every almond, if you rolled a d10 and it was like a 1 in 10 chance that it was going to taste like vomit, I would be like, I don't want to eat almonds. Almonds are my least favorite nut to eat.
They got a
They
point.
didn't make a claim. They just told
He
us
does have a point, doesn't he?
story. That's why I'm saying it's valid, because if I'm telling someone a story and they hit me with my story having a logical fallacy, I'm like, guess who's not getting another story, dude? Like, they weren't making a statement. They weren't trying to make a case.
All right, I think we've done enough. How long have I been streaming this? Fuck it. We've been going for like an hour. Is it really necessary for me to keep going? Like, I think I'm kind of running out of things to say, but yeah. All right. Well, that was fun. I kind of lost my energy at the end there, but no, it really doesn't seem like he did. It really doesn't seem like he gave this game much thought. This game is so bad. It's so bad, man. Like, oh my god. Anyway, I just wanted to see, because I might be making a video on logical fallacies, why we shouldn't teach them to people, because it's a bad way to learn logic. Maybe that video will come out someday. Maybe it won't, but I will definitely consider using this game as a good example of it, because it's like so many damn misapplied fallacies. Okay, well, if he doesn't know how it works, then maybe he shouldn't have made the fucking game. Like, yeah. Anyway, thanks for stopping by, everybody. This was a fun stream. Have a good one.